Hey guys, this is Lauren Sampoli with Junior Achievement. Today I am here with Mr. Sam Anderson. Sam, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day to talk to us.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
That's good to see you. So could you just tell us a bit about who you are, what you do? I know you wear a lot of hats or shoes, as it may be the case.
I definitely wear a lot of shoes. So, yeah, I'm a serial entrepreneur here in the Richmond area, own and operate a couple of businesses. So, I got my start. My first two companies were Richmond Bubble Soccer. You put on those huge bubble suits and play full contact soccer.
Love it.
Then I had started a valet laundry service called Cycle. Our clients just dropped their dirty laundry off outside the doorstep. We picked it up, brought it back to them in 48 hours. What probably takes the most of my time now is Enzo Media Firm. We're a full media production house where we focus on social media management, video production, photography, website design, graphic design. We have certified drone operators, and we also have a wedding division in which we do wedding videography, photography, as well as have wedding planners on staff. Beyond that, with Enzo, we're also launching a lot of educational programs. So I have since launched a entrepreneur mentorship program at the start of this year. So those who are starting up their own business, I can kind of guide them through the process, meet with them once a month, twice a week, four times a week, just depending on what program they want to sign up for.
Mhm.
Outside of that, also one of the owners and operators of Synapse, a great networking organization that has a major focus on the nonprofit culture. And then I also started a business during a global pandemic called Direct Learning Solutions, in which we bring qualified professionals directly to students to assist them with virtual learning. So that allows parents to be able to get back to work, and students can get that hands-on assistance that they need. We also operate out of several facilities with that. So the big part I believe that's missing from education during virtual learning is the socialization aspect for kids. That is
Sure.
part of their development and growth. So with our facilities, we're still able to give kids that type of environment, socially distanced, but allow them to be able to interact with kids as well. And I'm actually probably about to take 20% ownership of a new company here within the next couple of weeks. It's a deal I got in the works. So I may have an update for you later on.
Okay, we'll check back in. Oh man, good luck. Oh my God, that's amazing. That's so cool that you're doing all these things. You're so involved in the community. You have time to sit down and talk to me. Like, this is great. So I don't know even if this is even a question I should be asking you, but like, what does a typical day look like for you?
No such thing.
Okay.
Different every single day. I mean, I can say the one thing that I'm generally able to maintain control of is my morning.
Mhm.
So typically, first thing in the morning, I wake up. So I will note that I'm married. We have a 9-month-old daughter, and we just got a puppy a couple weeks ago. So now it's like we got two babies running around the house.
Sure. Yeah.
So mornings are definitely interesting. But I try to just jump on the bike, get a quick workout in. I try to get to the office super early. I like to beat my staff by a couple hours, get to the office. That way, I got a nice quiet environment. Nobody's walking in my door asking me questions or anything, and I can really focus, get through my emails, all that kind of stuff, and
Sure.
kind of prep for the day.
Yeah.
Beyond that, what happens after about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, who knows?
Okay.
It's different every day. I could be on a video shoot. I could be talking to somebody like you, doing a recording.
Mhm.
I could be writing out contracts all day long. I could be meeting with one of my other business owners. I could be putting out fires over here. So it varies from day to day in terms of what happens there. But then
Sure.
at the end of my day, I do try to maintain some control over that. Again, now being a family man,
Yeah.
when it was just me and my wife, sometimes I have to stay at the office till like 8 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
Now with the child, that's not really an option, or not really an option for me. So I typically make sure I'm out at 5:30 at the latest, so I can be home for dinner,
Yeah.
get a little time with my daughter before bedtime. So beyond everything in the middle, nobody knows day to
Right.
day, morning
So
and
I would
evening.
say you got some
Typically,
bookends, and then it's just like, yeah, that's cool though. And every day's different, keeps it interesting. Absolutely.
oh, 100%.
Yeah. So, our company program students are learning about all aspects of the business process in their classes. And I know you do a lot of work with social media, and social media is becoming even more like involved in promoting businesses and personal branding and all these things. So, can you speak to your personal experience that can kind of like take us beyond the classroom experience?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, that's ultimately how I've been able to launch all my companies. If it
Sure.
wasn't for social media, I think the journey that I've been on, not saying that it's been easy, but I think it would have been a lot more difficult had I not had access to social media.
Hmm.
I often think back to what people did starting brands before social media existed, like putting ads in the yellow pages, like expensive TV ads on your local news station,
Yeah.
going door to door, laying out flyers. Like there's just so much more effort it took back then to be able to get your name out and get people to recognize your face. Now with social media, it's just a
Hmm.
matter of putting in the work.
Hmm.
Um, I know because this is one thing I focus on. Between all my companies, about 60% of the business we retain all comes through social media campaigns.
Hmm.
Um, and it's the consistency of it. It's
Right.
making sure that you're in front of people time and time and time again. People are very quick to forget. I often say we live in a microwave society. I've seen people cuss out a microwave because a hot pocket takes 2 minutes to cook. People want what they want and they want it now. So
Yeah.
if you're not in their face all the time, if they're not constantly being reminded of who you are and what you do, they will quickly forget you.
Sure.
Hence, this is one reason why there's a bunch of sneakers behind me. I think as we're recording this right now, up to date, I have about 164 sneakers in my collection. And I say that and highlight that for two reasons in regards to what we're talking about with social media. One of the most important things I can recommend for people when they're doing social media, too often they get too business focused.
Okay.
Every piece of content they're putting out is sell, 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 sell.
Yeah.
People want to relate to you. People want to engage. People want to conversate.
Hmm.
So for me, with one of my passions being sneakers, that's one of the things that kind of starts the conversation. I'm sure most people aren't going to be able to see, but as soon as you and I jumped on the call, first thing you asked me was about all this stuff behind me.
Yep.
So I'll do like videos where I'm just talking about sneakers. Like I show people my latest pickups and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And I can honestly say I've gotten a ton, thousands of dollars of business simply because of my shoe collection. These are people that they don't collect and they're not sneakerheads like I am. They
Sure.
just find it interesting. And as they start to engage and follow me and have those conversations with me because of this passion,
Hmm.
they end up figuring out the other things that I do. We've created that rapport over my passion of sneakers, and
Yeah.
that leads business in other realms. So I always tell people focus on personal aspects of your life even if it doesn't necessarily relate directly to what you do business wise,
Sure.
because it could be the school you went to, it could be how many kids you have, it could be what area of town you grew up in. It's always those small things that can make somebody relate to you and say, if I'm going to do business with somebody in your field, I'd rather work with you over somebody else.
Yeah. That seems to be a thread in all these interviews I've been doing. It's like it's all about relationships and yeah, connecting with people on a personal level, like not like you said, like not constantly being like, I'm trying to sell you something. Like, hey, I'm a person, you're a person. How can we connect beyond, what we're trying to do in business? And then you're able to kind of parlay that into a professional relationship.
Yeah, it's all value driven. That's the piece that people forget with social media. You personally, or anybody watching this, when you're on social media and you're going through your TikTok, your Instagram, your Facebook, you're doing everything you can to avoid content where somebody's selling to you.
Hmm.
You're there for two reasons. You want to be educated or you want to be entertained. And
Sure.
if there's a page that you're following that doesn't do one of those two or a combination of both, you're done. Like you're disengaging from that brand. So people need to constantly always remember that people want to be entertained or they want to be educated. You
Hmm.
need to be doing one of the two or a combination of both.
Yeah. That's super interesting. And like I maybe had not considered it that way before. So that's really great perspective for kind of what we're trying to do here. To that end, do you have any advice to our students about how they can apply, these principles, like what you just talked about, what they're learning about in their classes, to not only their educational careers, but their day-to-day interactions? I know you've touched on relationships, but anything additional is very appreciated.
Yeah, it always, me being a social media guy, it always cuts me deep when people say like we've lost a lot with social media and that there's a lot less interaction between people. I find quite the opposite. I actually met my wife on Facebook. We went
Oh.
on a dating app. I saw her picture from a friend that was at a party I was supposed to go to and decided not to go.
Mhm.
And I told my friend, I was like, yo, you got to hook me up with her. So my marriage is based off of the connection that I had via social media.
Yeah.
Um, I think those are the big driving force with social media is developing those relationships.
Mhm.
I'm connecting with people nonstop, and I'll even make mention because this is a pretty new social media app, Clubhouse. If anybody
Okay.
listening to this hasn't utilized Clubhouse, whew. So best way I can describe it, Clubhouse is a very new social media channel. It started at the beginning of this year or summer of last year in
Okay.
2020, but really started to take off here the last couple months. Best way I can describe it is it's an interactive podcast.
Mhm.
So anybody can start a room. It's all audio based.
Mhm.
There's a picture profile of anybody who's in the room, but you can't share video, you can't share files, you can't share pictures or any of that stuff. It's all audio communication. So anybody can start a room and talk about any topic. Like I've started up rooms that say the top 5 things you need to know about managing your social media accounts.
Mhm.
And then people can jump in. I can bring people up as speakers and moderators and blah, blah, blah. But over the last month that I've really delved into this app, I've made connections with people all over the world. In fact, we're finalizing a contract now. One of the rooms I was speaking in the other day was a big group of realtors. And there's a realtor in California who we're in the process of now finalizing contract with her. She wants to fly me out to California to do videos for about a week. And this all came about because I was just talking about social media trends on a social
Yeah.
media. So it takes a large investment to begin with in terms of time.
Yes.
To me, kind of levels the playing field because not everybody has the same level of education or the
Mhm.
same amount of money to get a
Mhm.
business off the ground. But we
Sure.
all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's really utilizing how you use it. And the big thing I love about Clubhouse is typically from my commute to and from the office, I'm normally listening to podcasts.
Mhm.
Now with this app, I can connect via Bluetooth in my car.
Yeah.
I'm socially connecting with people. I'm able to speak to them, do anything during my commute and make
Yeah.
these connections. There's no other platform in which I can do that during a regular commute as long as I'm driving.
Right. Right.
So that's the big driving force for me when it comes to social media is really honing in and focusing on those relationships. And then I say, you got to try a bunch of different things.
Mhm.
So when I first started, I really got going by doing a vlog. So for those who don't know, like a vlog is a video blog format. So I literally just took a camera around all day and show people what the life of an entrepreneur looked like.
Yeah.
But I tried a bunch of different content. I tried things from the motivational point of view. I started talking about relationships, like, I talked about business and entrepreneurship and blah, blah, blah. So I'm throwing all that information out into the socials and I'm looking at the numbers of what I'm receiving back. So numbers, I mean, the amount of comments, the amount of views, the amount of engagement I'm getting, the private messages, the phone calls, the emails. And that allowed me to realize the topics that people like me to speak on the most and where I get the most retention. So I may have started with 20 different types of content, but was able to narrow that down to about 3 things that people really like to hear me talk about.
Right.
Beyond that, people could give 2 craps what I think about these other topics. And on that note too, though, there are 2 things you always want to avoid if it's not related directly to your brand. It's politics and religion. You're only going to divide your audience. 50% of the people you're going to get excited. The other 50% are going to hate you.
Right.
So I could tell you some things about Donald Trump, but you're not going to see him on my Instagram or Facebook page.
Sure.
That's dinner talk. For all intents and purposes, nobody knows what my political affiliation is from a social media standpoint. But now if I was in a realm that my business was related to politics,
right?
Oh yeah, I'm talking about it all day, but that's not where my brand is, and that's not why people follow me. So I avoid those topics. So it's understanding you got to throw a bunch of stuff out, see what sticks, and knowing what to avoid at the same time.
Right. Absolutely. And I think you made an excellent point where it's like, you got to keep at it, because I think we're like, a lot of us are like, oh, I'm on social media. Like I can totally do that professionally, but it is a whole different ball game.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's like people, man, I'm in, I play fantasy football.
Sure.
So there's one guy in our group, and like any move that an NFL team makes, he's like, "Oh, that's idiotic. I wouldn't do it. This is how I would structure the deal." And it's like, dude, there's a reason why you don't work for an NFL office. There's a reason you never got the phone call to be a GM for the New England Patriots.
Right.
Like, you're not as qualified as you think you are.
Yeah.
And it's that thought process of Twitter fingers. Like, people are way stronger behind their keyboard than they are in person.
Yeah.
If anybody, and this is one of my favorite, obviously me being in sneakers, I'm a big Michael Jordan fan. One of my favorite statements that Jordan ever made, and I'm paraphrasing this, is he said he did a disservice to basketball because he made it look so easy. Jordan was so good
Yeah.
that he did what he did with ease
Mhm.
and made it look like anybody could do it.
Right.
That's why we bought his sneakers. Everybody wanted to be like Mike. You
Yeah.
thought if you bought the latest Jordan 3 that you're going to be able to fly in the air and dunk on somebody like Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
No, you're not. I can
Yeah.
be in the gym 15 hours a day and I'll never be able to play like Michael Jordan. He gave us that illusion of it. And
Right.
I'm not relating myself to Michael Jordan at all. I don't want to be categorized as Kanye West, calling myself Jesus or Steve Jobs or something like that. But I think to some degree, any entrepreneur that has succeeded on any level, it's that same thought process that, yeah, sometimes we make it look easy. Like, people don't know all the stuff that's going on in the back end. Like, I mean, it ebbs and flows. Like, it's the true definition of a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is never this.
No.
You're down, up, down, stay. Like, it goes all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have, is they think social media management is easy because
Right.
they're posting selfies of themselves at Gold's Gym after their workout. It's one thing to do things for personal reasons, but to be able to develop a brand and market for a company, that's a whole nother skill set.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's such good advice. And I think, it's really, hopefully will resonate with some of our viewers. Certainly kind of something that I've picked up in my dabbling in social media professionally versus personally. That's fantastic. I could talk to you for another hour and a half, but I'm going to let you get back to your busy life. But thank you so much for taking the time. This has been a great conversation.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.